It is 1 day past ovulation, 1 DPO. Oh, I can already tell it's going to be a long 2 weeks. For those of you who are not as familiar with like the fertility world, as probably many of you watching this are, I'm probably going to use the word or the acronym DPO quite a lot in the rest of this video. DPO just stands for days past ovulation. I'm hoping to wait until about 10 days past ovulation before I start testing. We'll see how that turns out. But today is 1 DPO, so we've got quite a way to go before we get to that. I have to say, I do feel a little bit bruised from the IUI this time around. That speculum got, oh, I just absolutely hate it, so painful. And I do feel a little bit like tender from it. It's not painful when I pee or anything, but I just feel like internally like I'm slightly bruised, if that makes sense. And I don't remember that from last time. I might have had it last time, but I don't remember it. So that's something I had either forgotten about or wasn't expecting to have this time around. The other thing that's messing with me mentally a little bit at this moment in time is that I haven't had any strong ovulation pain. Now, obviously, since the last time I did this, I've had a baby, I've had Orin. My cycle's changed a bit, my periods have changed since having him. So it's not totally like out of the ordinary for me to no longer feel ovulation pain. But before I had Orin, I used to get really strong ovulation pain. So it would literally be like the day after I got a positive ovulation test, at some point during the day, I would get like a sharp stabbing in either of my hips, and you could not miss it. Like it was very clearly ovulation pain because it was quite intense, and occasionally I actually had to take painkillers for it because it was that bad. And I did get a bit of ovulation pain last cycle, like the cycle after I came off my pill. On around day 11, which was the first day I started testing. So I got a positive ovulation test that morning and I was like, oh my God, this is unusual. And it was, as I said, it was later that afternoon. If I'd been testing, I probably would have got a positive the day before. So it's kind of interesting that I didn't get that this time. So I did get a bit of pain last month, but it wasn't as bad as it has previously been. Like it was enough that I was like, okay, I'm fairly sure I've ovulated. But actually, no, I do remember I wasn't 100% convinced because it wasn't as bad as it could have been. So I think how I feel around the time I ovulate might have changed a bit too since having Orin. And that's messing with me because with the cycle that I got pregnant with Orin, I remember having my IUI done in the morning and late morning, and then around like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I got really strong ovulation pain. So I was kind of like, wow, this timing was great. But this time I didn't really get that. The only thing I got was like a slight ache in my left hip around 6 o'clock yesterday evening. And that's the only thing I can assume was ovulation, unless I ovulated in the night. And because I was asleep, I just wasn't aware of it. But I didn't get to sleep until about midnight. So that's, quite a long time after I got my peak LH surge. And I typically ovulate like within like the 24 to 36 hours after. Well, I get the ovulation pain, I should say, more specifically, within about 24 to 36 hours after. So just because I have no clear idea of when I actually ovulated and if I ovulated within like the right kind of window, that's messing with me mentally a little bit, because I remember feeling fairly confident on Orin's cycle because they had been so close together, whereas this time I'm like, I really don't know. And so I have absolutely no idea like whether or not we gave it a really good shot or anything. There were some other things that the doctor did say yesterday which give me a good indication that it's kind of similar. So with Orin's cycle, I remember the doctor saying, oh good, the cervix is open, that's a really good sign you're ovulating. And this time, doctor said exactly the same thing again, my cervix was open. Obviously I've been testing religiously leading up to this, so that was my peak. It definitely happened on the 15th in the morning. I tested several times on the 14th, sorry, it's my laptop. And they were able to put the sperm pretty high up in the uterus, so in theory, everything's gone pretty good. It's just, I think I was hoping that I would get that kind of clearer indication from my body about when I ovulated, whereas I'm a little bit in the dark now. So I suspect that is going to mess with me a bit more. I didn't expect it to. Again, like the whole thing with fertility treatment is there are things that kind of bother you more or crop up that you don't expect, and it kind of throws you. And yeah, just not being able to have a clear idea of around the time I ovulated, that is messing with me more mentally than I thought it would. But I'm going to try and move past it because we're now at the point where, it's like 4:30 in the afternoon on Friday. We're now at the point where if my egg was released yesterday morning, it's dead by now. The sperm are probably dead at this point too, or maybe a couple have survived, who knows. But like, if it's happened, it will have happened, and now it's just a case of like waiting it out. But I can tell it is going to be a long couple of weeks. It is 2 days past ovulation / 2 days past IUI today, and today's lesson is be careful what you wish for, because last night at around 11 p.m. I started getting a really strong ache in my left side, my left hip and back, and it felt very similar to what I would think of as ovulation pain. However, that would have been more than 60 hours after I got my positive LH test, like the first one I got in the morning of cycle day 15, because yesterday was cycle day 17. And I was like, that's highly unlikely that I'm ovulating that late, and also slightly depressing if I am, because that means we didn't do the IUI at like the optimal time. But the thing is, at the moment, I just don't really know what's going on in my body. That's the lesson of this whole cycle and IUI really, is that I don't know my body as well as I used to pre-pregnancy. Everything's just sort of changing. I thought I was ovulating earlier because of the tests. I wasn't. I didn't have any other symptoms, to be fair, but still. And then the fluid, and I thought I hadn't got rid of it, and then it had moved, and just it's been a bit of a mess from beginning to end, to be honest. But when I got that ache last night, I was thinking, oh my God, that's so late. And I remembered that last cycle, which is the first one I had off the pill, when I got the positive ovulation test on day 11, bearing in mind I didn't test on day 10, so I might have got positive on the day before, probably would have done, to be fair. I then got some ovulation pain in the afternoon of that day, and I was like, okay, I think this is ovulation pain. And then I got another round of what felt like ovulation pain on the Monday, so 3 days after I'd had that positive LH strip, and I was like, I can't be ovulating this late. It's got to be something else. Must just be another cyst or something. I don't know. And of course, this morning I've been searching online, everything, to see if I can find something, and it's kind of mixed messages. I can't find anything concrete to be oh, that's what I think it is. But yeah, so I was feeling a bit down last night because I thought, gosh, if I am ovulating now, this is really late, and it's possibly too late for the sperm. Although, as we've already established, there's no consistent evidence around how long this frozen sperm lasts once it's thawed inside the uterus, because some places say same as regular sperm can last up to 5 days, some say as little as 12 hours. So just who knows, honestly. So yeah, I'm feeling a bit was ovulation, was it not? Although it's still kind of in my hip this morning, to be honest, it's still kind of there, and that in a weird way is reassuring me, because my ovulation discomfort never lasted this long, never in any of my cycles. So I think it might be something else. Maybe it's just a bit of cramping from the IUI, and because obviously they put sperm in you, and then your body's kind of got to adjust to this new stuff. And I'm feeling a little bit less bruised today than I was yesterday after the speculum. That has definitely healed up a little bit more. But maybe a combination of all that is kind of what was giving me some referred pain. I really don't know. It definitely felt like something was irritating me inside though, because my ovulation pain is never, I don't think it's ever really sharp stabbing pain. It's more like a dull ache that just kind of persists on one side. You kind of want to rub it. When you get an ache and you're like, oh, I really want to rub that ache. That's what it's kind of like with my ovulation pain. But yeah, I kind of wish I hadn't had that now. I'd feel better if I had sort of not had any indication, because as I said, I got that very, very mild little bit of discomfort at 6 o'clock on the day of my IUI, but it wasn't as much as I would expect for ovulation. So I really have no idea. And I feel in a way it's kind of not my confidence bit with the cycle. I feel a bit less confident now, because I'm what is going on? Is it doing it? I just don't know. And unhelpfully, I didn't film in my last IUI, the one I actually got pregnant with Oren with. I didn't film anything between the day of my IUI and actually when I started pregnancy testing at day 7 that time. So I can't go back and look at those for reference. It is the 10th of December today, so it's 5 days since I had my IUI, and I am slowly going insane. I really wanted to try and kind of be more relaxed about this cycle and just be yeah, we'll see what happens, but I really, really want it to work. And you just can't help it. You invest so much time, so much energy, so much money into doing things like this that it's just it's impossible. And I'm kind of letting myself off a bit more now of being yeah, of course I'm anxious to find out what's happened, if it's worked, because it's really important to me. But we are now 5 days past IUI, and because I'm aiming to start testing around 10 days past IUI, we're officially halfway through our 2-week wait. I appreciate it's not 2 weeks, 2 weeks would be 14 days, but there is no way on earth that I'm going to last that long. So I'm really trying my best to hold out until the 10 DPO mark, 10 days past IUI. I'm not saying DPO because that pain that I had in my hip the next day, I'm still a bit confused about whether that was possibly ovulation or something else entirely. I'm not sure. So I'm kind of going to stick with like 10 days past IUI for now as the earliest that I want to start testing. I'm not sure I'm going to hold out that long, but I currently only have the really, really cheap pregnancy test that I bought for like the initial having to take before I started treatment, which they never asked me about. After all that, like I got 2 boxes of that. I took one just to kind of like prove it and took a photograph, so if they asked for it, but they never did. And I was like, I spent this money on this pregnancy test that you didn't want me to actually do in the end, and it's a really cheap one, which probably is like really insensitive. So I think what I'll do is if I do get a positive result at some point on, I'm going to buy some first responses to take when it actually comes to 10 days past IUI, because I think they're the most sensitive. They certainly were. I don't know if they still are because they've changed their design a bit, but we'll see. So I'm going to test with the first responses, and then I will try testing with the cheapy one as well, just to see like whether it shows up and at what point, to see the sensitivity, but I imagine that they're very poor. They don't say early test or anything, so I think they're probably quite insensitive ones. But aside from them, I don't have any other pregnancy tests in the house at the moment. I've held off so far, and I'm hoping to hold out until 8 days past IUI before I buy them, so that they don't get here until maybe the afternoon of the 9. I might have to do on the 7, I don't know. Anyway, but I don't have any yet, so I haven't got anything to tempt me, which has definitely been a good move. So I'm going to hold off on that for as long as I can. Symptom wise, it's still, I think, like too early for there really to be any symptoms. But that being said, that aching kind of, not really cramps, but cramps feeling that I talked about in my left hip, that has now pretty much stopped. But it went on for a while. It wasn't just that evening, like the evening after the day I had my IUI. It kind of continued on and off until I think yesterday. I think I might have had it very mildly yesterday, or maybe yesterday it stopped. But definitely I remember 1 day past IUI, 2 days past IUI, and 3 days past IUI, I had that kind of aching feeling. And it was kind of to the point where I was like, oh, I'm hoping something's not wrong. It wasn't painful. It wasn't like interfering with my day-to-day life or stopping me doing anything. But I was just a bit concerned that like maybe something had gone wrong, because I don't remember having that with either of the other IUIs that I had, so that's a bit odd. I had really bad bloating the evening of 3DPO, and it did remind me that I had that with, I'm pretty sure it was orange cycle of IUI that I had last time. I had really intense bloating on day 3, but I don't think that's a pregnancy symptom, even if I was pregnant, just because your progesterone, that's usually caused by progesterone increasing, and that happens when you release an egg anyway, so I don't know, maybe I just block it out when I'm not focusing on it after I've ovulated and I'm not trying to get pregnant. I just forget that that's something I get. But I do think I had it with Oren, so that was interesting. Annoyingly, I went back to watch my original IUI video, the second round that I did where I conceived Oren, and I didn't film anything for the first 7 days after I had the IUI done. So there's nothing on there I'm talking about my symptoms or anything I had. So when I was thinking, did I have this last time? I went to watch the video, there was nothing there to help me. So thank you, past Bryony, for doing that. So yeah, bloating has been like something I've experienced, but like I said, I don't think it would even be a pregnancy. It's too early, because I wouldn't have implanted at this point even if I was pregnant. So it's just a waiting game, just a slowly losing your mind game. But we'll get there. 1 day at a time, we will get there. It is 7 days past IUI today, and it's currently my lunch break. Today's been a little bit interesting. So I woke up this morning, didn't feel particularly great, like nothing in particular that I can put my finger on, just felt a bit blah. And then around 9 a.m. this morning, 10 a.m, I got some like what felt like mild period cramps. That's the best way I can describe them. I didn't need to take painkillers, but it was kind of borderline. Like I was getting to the point where I was thinking I might have to take, you're not really supposed to take ibuprofen if you're pregnant, and I obviously have to assume I'm pregnant until I've tested. But I possibly could have taken paracetamol, although that does make me feel a bit sick. So I was kind of like toying with whether I took anything. In the end, I settled for just putting a hot lavender back on my back, because I didn't want to put it on my front, because you're not supposed to get too hot in pregnancy, because that in the 2-week wait, because it can make implantation more difficult if you are pregnant. But I put it on my back, and I was able to kind of like ride it out for the next hour or so. And it still feels kind of twingy, but that was very unusual for me. Like prior to Oren, I wouldn't have found it too surprising, because I used to get cramps a few days before my period started. But my period's not due for like 5 days at this point. I mean, in theory, like I've said, the cycle is a bit who knows what. But I don't think I'm due my period for at least 5 days, possibly longer now. And I'm fairly sure that I used to only get cramping like 3 days max before my period was due. So 5 days is a bit unusual. And it could be implantation cramping. So we'll just now have to wait and see. But that did make me feel a little bit more hopeful this morning, because I was like, oh, it feels like something's happening and this is unusual. And also, since I've given birth to Orin, I haven't had cramping leading up to my period. I've just sort of started my period and then cramped. And I'm not bleeding, haven't had any spotting or anything. I didn't get implantation spotting with Orin either, so that's not something I'm looking for really. But I don't think I got cramping, I don't know. But anyway, like that on its own, I think only 20% of people get implantation spotting. But the cramping, I found that kind of like, oh, this feels like something might be happening. So it's just now a matter of waiting and seeing. But I do feel a little bit more hopeful after that. I've also been really bloated. This morning I was so bloated I had to go and put my like pregnancy joggers on because my regular ones were just too tight, and I was like, this is absurd. So I've put them on and they're nice and comfy. I'm a bit constipated still. My bowels are just really not happy at the moment, so that's fun. The only other thing is I do think my boobs are a little bit fuller. Not massively so, and they're not sore or anything. I don't remember them being sore last time, except maybe at the top bit. But I think they might possibly be a little bit fuller, so who knows. But like I said, all of that happening has made me just a little bit more hopeful that this cycle might have worked now, whereas I think I was feeling a little bit despondent before today. But yeah, yesterday and today I wasn't feeling super great, like I was feeling a bit blah, more so today than yesterday. And tired as well, although Orin woke me up earlier this morning, so that might just be the reason I'm tired and maybe feeling a bit groggy. But yeah, the pain, that was something I wasn't expecting and don't remember having last time, so we'll see if that means anything. I finally caved on Tuesday evening and bought some pregnancy tests off of Amazon. So I ended up buying 3 sets of tests. First of all, I bought the 2 packs of the first responses, which I really like, and a pack of the easy at home tests, which are fairly cheap, and I've ordered for them to be delivered tomorrow, Friday. But then yesterday I was watching a video where someone was comparing different pregnancy tests side by side, and they were using the OneFo ones, and I saw them compared to Easy at Home, and I was like, oh, I think they look better. And the woman I was watching, she said that she thought they were better too. So I went onto Amazon again and had a look at them, and it turns out they were on sale and they were less than £6 for a pack of 20. And I thought, you know what, sod it, we'll get them as well. So they're actually being delivered today, but I don't think I won't get a chance to test today, and I don't want to because it's 7 DPO, it's too early. I did start testing at 7 days past IUI last time, but no, it's ridiculous, don't do it. I won't hold off till 10, I know that. I was going to hold off until Saturday, but I might test tomorrow morning. It depends, because I've got my Christmas dinner with my friends this evening, my mum friends this evening, and so I'm going to be staying at my parents' house because I'm dropping Orin off there so they can watch him while he's in bed and I'm out in London, and then I'm going to come back to them and just stay the night there and then come over in the morning, drop him off to nursery on my way. But I think I'll probably need to pee before we get here, so I probably won't be able to test tomorrow either, so we'll have to just wait and see on that score. But yeah, so earliest it's possible tomorrow I'll start testing, depending on like the peeing situation and how good I am at holding out. Probably not very, but definitely I think I'm going to start testing on Saturday now, so we're nearly there. Morning, it is 8 days past my IUI now, and I'm going to start pregnancy testing today because all my pregnancy tests have arrived. And also, I feel absolutely grim. I feel a bit better now, but this morning when I woke up, oh my God, I felt so sick. I've been feeling like under the weather now for, I think since like 6 days past IUI. It wasn't as bad on day 6. Yesterday I felt fairly rough, and I actually debated whether or not I should even go into London yesterday to meet my friends. But I was like, sod it, I rarely ever get to do this. And we've trying really hard to find a date to book that's child free, and I'm like, I'm going. And also I was like, even though I'm feeling bad, I think I'm leaning more towards it being like pregnancy not feeling good rather than ill feeling good, so I thought I'll risk it and I'll go in. And I felt better when I was there, luckily. It was just kind of like a feeling. Then this morning, oh my God, it felt horrific. I didn't sleep very well last night because Orin woke up at 4, and then I could not go back to sleep because I woke up and I was feeling sick. And so yeah, I decided I'm going to start testing today. I doubt I'm going to see anything. Apparently you can get like nausea around implantation as well, so if that cramping I had yesterday was implantation, it'll still be too early to see. But at this point I'm like, I figured, what the heck, I'm going to start just with the OneFo and the Easy at Home. I'm not going to touch the first responses. I'm going to leave them for now, so let's just try these 2 and see how we get on. Right, I'm going to give them 5 minutes and then I will be back. Like I said, I think it's too early. I'm not expected to see anything today, but I figured if nothing else, we'll start if I am pregnant, we'll start the line progression from today. Okay, it's been around 5 minutes, and as I expected, they are both looking pretty negative. Actually, the one photo looks like it's still kind of going across, but the easy at home, like not even a smidge of a line on there. And this one, I can kind of see where the line would be, but there's nothing on there. So these two are both negative, like expected. But there you go, 2 negative tests. And we will test tomorrow. Good morning, it is 9 days past IUI today, and I'm just gonna dip these in here quickly. Oren's having his breakfast in the other room. It's a Saturday, so he's obviously not in nursery today. I'll get this box open. How do I open this bloody box? So I decided to take a first response as well as these other 2 today. 9 days past IUI was the first day I was pretty sure I saw a line with Oren, so I'm really curious to see what happens this time. I spent yesterday obviously looking at those tests over and over again, and I actually ended up taking another one in the afternoon because I was like, I've got these boxes of like one photo, they come with like 20 tests in, and if my intuition is right and this cycle has worked, obviously I won't use them all up. So I was like, I'll just try and test in the afternoon as well. Why not? It was actually quite fun yesterday. I was really enjoying like, am I, aren't I? Particularly because I was thinking like, if it has worked and if this is a successful pregnancy, I probably will never have that moment of like finding out I'm pregnant again, because I very much plan to stop at 2 on my own. And even if I have that partner, I think there's a good chance that this will be it for me. So yeah. Right, monkey, I'm coming. So anyway, I'm going to dip these tests and then put them back in their packages. And then I'm going to take them into the kitchen because I need to be in the room, obviously, with Oren. I can't wait in here. And actually also the kitchen I think has better lighting than this room anyway. Okay, I think it's been about 5 minutes. We're just in the kitchen. Oren's just finishing up his breakfast. I'm so nervous. I think it's because, hi darling. I think it's because looking at those tests from yesterday, all 4 of them, so I took 2 in the afternoon as well, took one phone, 1 Izzy at home. I could see, when they dried, I could see a very faint line on, particularly the one photo actually. Initially I could see it on the first response, not first response, the easy at home, but then I could see it later on better on the one photo. So I don't know if those were just evaporation lines or anything, but we'll see. Anyway, I think I'm going to start with the first response today, so see what it says. Right, go. There's 2 lines. There is very much 2 lines. Oh my God, you're going to be a big brother. Yeah. Do you know what? I'm so happy, but I just knew it because I have been feeling so grim the last few days in such a weird way. And when you've been pregnant once before, I don't know if those of you who've done this with like a second time around or third time around can relate to this. Like, you just kind of know what pregnancy symptoms are and you're like, this is not normal for my body. Like, this is just weird. But anyway, oh my God, it's positive. Right, let me show you. I think you might be able to tell this lighting is absolutely terrible. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but it's there. Also, uh-oh is our current favourite word, can you tell? Oh my gosh. This is stronger at 9 days past ovulation than it was last time around. Hi darling, oh, right, let's see, between the one photo and the easy at home, if we can see a line on either of these. Oh yeah. Yeah, I can see a line on this one, again, very faint, like the first response is definitely a lot more obvious. This is still like the best one, I think. Oh, actually, I haven't tested the one for yet. I don't know if you'll be able to see this one. It is so unbelievably faint, but I know that some of you enjoy watching these like pregnancy test videos and like pausing the video to see if you can spot it. So there you go. If you're one of them, so that's easy at home. And then one photo. Oh, this is, do you know what? I do think these are better than the easy at homes. You compare them. I mean, I can see it on both. They're very similar, but yeah, I do think the one photo might be better. Anyway, it's very faint, and of course the lighting is very orange at this angle. But there you go. So, now we have to see if this line gets darker. That's the main thing. But it's nice and early. Can be a good sign. So I'll just keep testing to see. But I'm really pleased I took one of these today. I almost didn't because I thought, oh, it's no point on a 9 days past ovulation. But because I kept seeing this really, really faint line on here yesterday, And I was like, I think I might be pregnant. And I felt pregnant that I was like, screw it, I'm gonna do it. Do you know what? I didn't have it. Oh, I sort of did have this background noise last time because I was fostering. But yeah. Are you gonna be a big brother? Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so pleased I got to try this cycle. And like, even with all the complications and everything, it worked. Hiya, darling. Do you know what? I'm even more excited this time around than last time. Hi, darling. Because of this one. It's just, it really is so amazing when you have your own child and you know what that's like. Last time around I was happy, but I remember being like, oh, I'm not as happy as I thought I would be afterwards. Like, I was like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. And then it kind of wore down and I was like, oh, I'm pregnant. I thought I'd be more like Disneyland Paris excited about it. But like this time around, like I know what it's like to have my own child. I know what this turns into. Hello, turns into someone waving a biscuit at me. I'm really pleased. I woke up this morning, I still felt a little bit sick, like a bit nauseous in the morning this morning like I did yesterday. Not as bad as yesterday, and it's not totally out of the norm for me to wake up feeling a bit nauseous in the morning. Hi, darling. Hiya. Yeah. So I was like, that doesn't feel too different, but I just felt like, and my boobs are definitely bigger. Oh my God, like I was sitting last night thinking, if I'm not pregnant, what is going on up here? Because this is not normal. Anyway, I better go see to his lordship. I'm going to keep looking at this test all day. And I'm going to stick these in my book and we will do some line progressions and see how they do. And hopefully this gets darker. Oh, darling. HCG doubles every 48 hours, roughly. So as long as this gets darker, we are good. And I'm seeing my parents later on today, so I can't wait to tell them. Okay, so it's still 9 DPO. I'm at my parents' house. I'm filming on my camera, my phone, because I didn't bring my camera with me. I bought a clear blue ultra early digital when I went into town today just to pick up some stuff to make our own stocking actually. And I got the 2-pack because I was like, so yeah, 2 tests because I really want to test today, but I'm not sure, it might be a bit too early because that test was still pretty faint this morning. So I thought I'll get 2. If today's isn't positive, I'll give it a day or 2. And then I'll test again with it. But I wanted to see if I could get a digital to say pregnant state. Also really curious because it says 6 days before your missed period, and I think my period's due in about 4 days, depending on how long it's going to be. So 4, 5, 6, we'll see. So we'll see whether this can pick it up. It's been so long since I've done one of these, I can't remember what to do. Flashing red. Okay. So stop flashing now. It is going across. We shall see how long this takes and if it can tell I'm pregnant yet. Okay, they said it could take like up to 5 minutes, and I guess being this early it probably will, but it's on the 4th little blobbly bit now. I think this might be too early for it, but I'm really curious. It does say it's an early digital, so we'll see. We'll see what it says. Oh, my hair, it's always a nightmare. I have no idea if this camera is reversed or not. This might come up backwards. Oh, God. It's taking forever. Oh my God, it picked up. Can you see it? Is it backwards? Probably. Pregnant. I did not expect it to work this soon. Oh my God. That's crazy. Oh, I'm so pleased I got this one. Wow, this is really sensitive. So like if you can get a relatively clear line on a first response, you can get one of these to work. That's amazing. That's exciting. I'm just sitting here like in the dark with the Christmas lights on, about to get ready to go to bed, and just sort of like, I've been like this all day, like really just reveling in it and making the most of the fact that, like I said before, this might be the last time I ever find out I'm pregnant for the first time. This is the last time I had the first day I found out I was pregnant. And it feels really special and like magical this time, like in the way that I didn't get last time. And I think, like I said earlier, a lot of that's to do with the fact I already have a child, so I kind of know what that's like. And I also been thinking about it a lot, and I think there's a lot of fear last time for me around also making a big mistake, because, you know, obviously having your first child's a big thing, whereas this time around having a second child is a big deal, but you've already made that fundamental shift in your life where you've decided to become a parent. That's already happened. I've already become a parent. This is just expanding my family, so the feelings are a little bit different, as I'm just anxious to see the lines developing, and hoping they get darker. But yeah, it's been a lovely day actually. And funny enough, I walked into town early because I had to get some fabrics to make our own stocking, and I've decided I'm going to make the most of whatever I can do while I can, in case I get as bad as I did last time. So I was like, I'll just enjoy it while I can walk into town and go to the fabric shop and come back, etc. And I also bumped into a friend of mine. We agreed to meet up on, I think, on the 27th of December, and I was thinking, oh, hang on a second, that's over 5.5 weeks. Like, if I'm as sick as last time, I'll be quite ill by that point. So I was like, I'm gonna have to tell her. So I said, I could do that, but just so you know, I might be unwell because I've just found out I'm pregnant. She was just like, what? Because I haven't spoken to her in ages, so she didn't realise I was doing this. And so that was really nice, and I've just been like, yeah, it's been a nice day. I told the one solo mum who knows that I've been doing this IUI process, the one who I went for the walk at the park with, and who has been fully on board with this, because I was like, I need somebody to tell. And when I got that, I originally was thinking I was going to tell her tomorrow when I got a more definitive first response test, but when the digital came back with pregnant, I thought, I can take a picture of that and send it to her. And she was over the moon, which is great because she's currently pregnant too. So it will mean that our little ones have a chance to kind of interact with each other as well growing up. So just a lovely day. It was a really, really lovely day to find out that I was expecting baby number 2. So fingers crossed everything is okay, and yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow. But for now, I'm just reveling in the joy. Good morning. It is 10 days past IUI today. I did the test a couple of minutes ago, and we're back in the kitchen because little man is having his breakfast. So today we're hoping that these lines get darker. Also, oh my god, I watched the footage from yesterday back about what I was, when I found out I was pregnant, because I wanted to see my reaction and stuff, because obviously you forget about it at the time. And I didn't realise that the fleece I was wearing was covered in white smears, and I was thinking, oh my god, that's what I was wearing and filmed myself in when I found out I was pregnant. So this morning I tried to make sure that I wore a top that doesn't have smears all over it. But hey ho, mum life, there's always something on your top. So yeah. Also, I spent a lot of yesterday re-looking at these tests. So this is yesterday, out of interest, this is yesterday's test for the first response. It's faint, but in real life, it's pretty obvious. You don't have to go to see it. It's very much there, which obviously encouraging. And obviously that one says pregnant, so that's good. I didn't set a timer, so I have no idea how much time has passed. But I think I'm going to start by looking at the one focus. This is the one that I dipped first. So let's have a look. Oh yeah. That line is much darker today. Still faint, but I think you'll be able to see it quite easily. So if I hold it up to the camera, show about the orange lighting. Maybe I'll show them to you as well, on this white background a bit later. So that's really good. Let's see the easy at home. It's darker, but do you know what? I mean, I can see it. I do think these Wonfos are better. It's darker on this one. What are you up to, my darling? Yeah, it's interesting. The Wonfo is definitely better. I can see a line on here, but it's really faint. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Yeah. But there is a line. That's good. Oh, I also took the really cheapy pregnancy test just out of interest to see if it could pick it up at this point. But first, I think I'm going to look at the... Or should I look at that one first? No, I did that last. Right, let's do first response. Let's see what the line looks like on this. Yeah, I think it's darker. I mean, it's not much darker. I mean, this one is dry. But it's certainly not got any lighter. That's a good thing. But like I said, it can take 48 hours to double, so tomorrow is probably the more important day. But yeah, very much pregnant still. Uh-oh, have you dropped your spoon? Yeah, I think I was hoping that this one would be a little bit darker than it actually is. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, it's very obviously there still. That's a good thing. But yeah. Okay. And let's check this one, because I don't think this one's going to be sensitive enough to pick it up. Oh! Oh wait, did I show you this one? I don't remember. This is what the first response looks like. Okay. And this one... It's very, very faint. It's certainly not an early pregnancy test. It's very, very hard to see. I don't think you'll be able to see it. But there is a very, very faint line on it. Very, very faint line. So, it did pick something up. That's interesting. I don't like these ones. I wouldn't choose them. But I said I was trying to buy a cheap one for the test that I had to do for my IUI, which they then never asked me about. So, there's that. Symptom-wise, I feel much better today. I didn't wake up feeling as ill this morning. I did have a little bit of a moment, but not as bad as yesterday. So I'm hoping that's getting better. Would ideally like it to stay better, but even if I can just get to like 5.5, 6 weeks before I start feeling ill, I'll be happy about that. Just get another couple of weeks. Anyway, I better go see to this little one, and I'm really curious to see how this first response dries throughout the day, because obviously this test is dry and I think it became a little bit clearer as it dried, so curious to see what happens to this one too. But definitely, you know, still there, still strong, and the one photo is actually, of all of them, is the one which lines got darker compared to the previous day, so that's quite interesting. Good morning, it is 11 days past my IUI today. This morning I'm just testing with the Wand Foe and the Easy at Home, simply because I've only got 2 more of these first responses left and they are quite expensive. So my plan with them is to do one tomorrow on 12 days past IUI and then one on 14 days past IUI, because like I said, the HCG job is every 48 hours. I really would like to get what we call a dye stealer on one of these, which is basically where the test line is at least as dark as a controlled line, or possibly even darker. That would be amazing. The reason that we keep testing, if you're wondering, like, you're pregnant, why are you still testing? The lines are still quite faint on the strip tests, and even the first response, like, it was very much there, but you can have something called a chemical pregnancy, which is basically where you get implants at first, but then it doesn't progress anymore. So if the line gets really dark, then that's very unlikely to happen. It doesn't rule out other issues further down the line, but it does at least mean you probably haven't had a chemical pregnancy. So that's why I'm continuing. My plan is to go until about 16 days past IUI, but this is probably the last morning I'll film taking these tests. And then what I'll do is I'll just keep taking them, and then I might do a line progression at the end of it all, so you can see how it looked over the days. Anyway, so I've had the Wand Foe and the first response going for a couple of minutes now. So let's look at the Wand Foe first. Oh yes, definitely darker. I think you'll be able to see this one today. The lighting in this bathroom is a little bit better as well, so hopefully you can see that. It's a Monday, by the way, which is why I haven't got Oren, because I've just dropped him at nursery. And let's look at the, oh, why did I put that back in? Let's look at the Easy at Home. Also a nice obvious line. Still not super dark. I'll definitely want to keep testing until this gets darker, but you can see the line and it's getting darker on these tests, so that is really great. I will continue to test, as I said, over the next few days, and then I will just give you guys an overview of what they look like later on. So I just sent the picture of the pregnancy test. I had like a picture of the digital that I held in front of the Christmas tree at my parents' house, where it obviously just says pregnant with this kind of cute background. And I sent that to one of my solo mum friends who I hadn't told yet. So I told the solo mum friend who I see like quite regularly on Saturday, like I sent her the picture then. Then the next day when I got a slightly darker test, I sent it to my other solo mum friend. And then today I decided, you know what, I think I'm gonna send it to this one too, because she also knew I was going through the IUI process. And I've just been a little bit more relaxed this time around sharing it, because I thought, you know what, even if it doesn't progress further, even if like it doesn't go the way I'm hoping it's going to go, at least I have people who know and who I can go back and say, hey, it didn't go well. Do you mind hanging out with me? Just for me to feel sad with you for, and who will be there for me. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to like tell the closest people who kind of know I've been going through this process and just let them know that like that's where I'm at. And plus that friend I met on the bridge on the day that I found out I was pregnant by pure chance. But, you know, it is what it is. I don't want to be as secretive this time as I was last time, like really trying to not tell anybody until I was at least 12 weeks. I think that kind of added to my misery when I was feeling really sick. Anyway, I sent her that picture and she sent me possibly the best voice note I've ever got. I'm just going to play you the first bit of it, but here you go.
I knew it. I fucking knew it. I 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 could have sworn you said Thursday. And I was like, oh my gosh.
It goes on for like 4 minutes, so I won't play you the rest. I just had to laugh. Her whole voice note is amazing. Oh my god, probably the best reaction I've had so far. So I'm so pleased I told her. And she's also trying, I think, next month. So fingers crossed for her for that, because the more people that have babies at the same time that we know, the better. So I said to her, I was sending her all the baby dust and hoping that like it was successful for her too. So keep my fingers crossed for that. But that was so lovely. And yeah, I really don't regret this time telling a couple more people than I did last time. And it's so interesting how nice it is to have people to tell. I think last time, because I was the first of my friends to have kids, the friends that I messaged, like there was only one friend actually I think who even knew I was going through this process, so I didn't tell anybody else until like the 3-month mark. And I told a bit earlier, and she was, she's supportive, but she's not a super baby person. So yeah, it's really interesting this time, like telling other mum friends who already have kids or already pregnant or thinking about their seconds, because they're just so excited and being like, oh my god, that's amazing. And I didn't really have that reaction last time. So yeah, it's just been super nice to have that. And it's not something I ever factored into this process of doing it a second time around, but actually, yeah, it's been really lovely. So that was really sweet. Good morning once again. It is 12 days past IUI today. I took a first response as well as the one pho and the easy at home this morning. Unfortunately, I got 2 nice dark lines. So I think I am now going to call the clinic today, because this is what I was waiting for. I was waiting for like a really, really positive first response test, and now that I've got that, I feel a lot more confident. So I didn't call them yesterday, but it's Tuesday now, so they would call on Thursday anyway. So I think I'm going to call them up and be like, can I book a bit earlier? So see what they say. Hi there, I'm just calling because I had an IUI done on the 5th of December. My official test day is in 2 days' time, but I've been testing positive for a couple of days now. So I was wondering if it'd be possible to book in my pregnancy scan. So she tried to put me through to the nurses, who are the ones that need to speak to me before they book the appointment. But they're all busy at the moment with scans. So she said she just left a message for them to call me back. So we'll see how long that takes. So I ended up not getting a call back from the nurse today. And I called them at 9 o'clock this morning. It's about 4 o'clock now. So roughly half an hour ago, I decided, well, I'll call them again just to see what's happening. Got through to someone and said, hey, I was waiting for the nurse to call me back. That hasn't happened. Could you possibly chase it for me? And anyway, long story short, she was able to get me through to the nurse on the phone that time. And I said, hey, I've had a positive pregnancy test, and I was wondering if it's possible to put my pregnancy scan in yet. And she said, I'm afraid it's not, because we do have a policy to wait till the actual test date, which I can understand why they do that, because of chemical pregnancies and stuff like early pregnancy losses. If it implants and then doesn't, then you probably wouldn't still be positive by the actual test day. So they want you to wait until you get to that day for good reason. But I said to her, that's fine. Like, the only reason I was really calling early was because I was thinking I might like to book the day off work for that appointment day. And it'd just be kind of good to give my boss as much advance warning as possible. And she said, hang on a second, I can go and look on the system to see what day we would want you to come in for a scan. And she was able to tell me that it will be the 7th of January and that there's plenty of scan appointments there, so it's not going to all be fully booked by Thursday. And so that was really helpful. So I have now just put the request in to my work to take that day off. That is a Tuesday. And also because, I don't know, like I might have started to get like some pregnancy nausea by that point. I'm really hoping it's not going to be that bad this time around. But even if I am, like, just to have the day off anyway would be quite good, I think. And I've actually got some annual leave I need to use up before April anyway, because I have some left over from this year. So basically, I think places do it the same, but like anyway, my work, they work out your annual leave based off of the day that you started. So even though I actually ended up getting my full annual bonus, 5% of my full salary bonus, despite the fact that I've only worked there for like 2 months, which is amazing. That was this month. But my annual leave is calculated based off of how many days I worked for the company. So I think I had 5 days worth of annual leave, and I'm using 2 up over Christmas. So the other 3 I need to use before April, because that's the time you have to use them up. So I was thinking, well, I've got this time to use up anyway. I might be feeling quite nauseous at the time, and also I might be a bit worried about how the scan's going to go. So I'm just going to book the day off, make it like hopefully a special day where like I might see the baby, and if everything's all right, see the heartbeat and everything, and then like it'll just be, a nice day. So I wanted to do that. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. So it is official test day today. I'm 14 days past my IUI, and I've got some kind of mixed feelings about the results this morning. I think I was hoping they would be even darker than they are. It's not bad, it's just, I just thought they would be darker. So anyway, I've got 2 tests that I'm like pretty happy with, and 2 that I'm not. So the 2 that I'm not are, I took this super cheapy one just to see what it looked like on my official test day, and actually it has got a little bit darker now, but it's still a pretty faint line. I don't know if you can even, Yeah, I think you can see it on the camera. But like, it's not a dark line, which is what I was kind of hoping for at this point. Because today I think would be the day of my missed period if I was testing like regularly. But this was a really, really cheap test, and that line is darker than it was last time, so I'm not too worried about this one. But it's the Easy at Home strip that I'm slightly worried about. I mean, it is there, it is pretty dark, but I was hoping that that test line would be darker by this point, and it isn't. I mean, it's very obviously there, very obviously saying pregnant, but compared to yesterday's test, I'm just not sure that it is actually showing up any darker. So that's kind of like, oh, that's worrying me a bit. But just trying to remind myself, no, it's 48 hours that it doubles. It just needs to get darker tomorrow. The one photo I'm actually happy with. This one is a nice dark test that you can see there. I mean, so I think compared to the Easy at Home, the one photo is definitely darker. If I hold these two side by side, you can see. Try and hold them side by side, you can see the one photo is on the bottom. I think that's a bit darker. Maybe not by much, but certainly compared to the test yesterday, it looks nice and dark, which is great. And then the first response, actually, the longer I've left this to go across, the happier I am with it. It is now at the point where the test line is stronger than the control line. So that first line is stronger than this second line here. And that's what I really wanted. If I compare it to, I mean, this test is dry because it's from 2 days ago, from 12 days past IUI. But I don't know if you're going to really see it on camera. On this test, the yellower one on the top, the test line is slightly lighter than the control line, whereas that has reversed down here. And that was something I was really looking to happen. So yeah, this one I think I am pretty happy with. I think I was hoping I'd get like what we call a dye sealer, where the first line is just so dark and the second line's really pale. But then again, I am only 14 days past my IUI. I think the main thing is that this is really positive still. So yeah, I did also get some mild cramping yesterday, which I think is why I was kind of hoping it would be really dark today. So it was kind of like, bam, you're still pregnant. But all the lines are still there. Nothing's faded, at least. It's just I was kind of, yeah, was just hoping it'd be even darker than they are, but there we are. Anyway, the clinic should call me today to book in my pregnancy scan. So hopefully, all being well, that will go ahead in about 2.5 weeks' time. And hopefully there's a viable pregnancy. So I've just booked the early pregnancy scan for the 7th of January at 10 a.m. I got a call earlier from them where they were like, oh, you know, we just wanted to check it was positive. And she's like, okay, I'll get one of the nurses to call you back. And I was like, couldn't they have just called me directly? But anyway, got to like 4:15 and I thought, they still haven't called me and I really want to get this booked in because I've booked that day off now. I don't want to miss it. So I called them again, and this time they were able to book it on the phone, so that was great. So that's all booked in now. Annoyingly, it's not the same doctor who's done my treatment, it's a different one, which, I mean, it's fine, like, it doesn't need to be the same doctor at this point, they need to just check a survival pregnancy. Would have just been nice to be like, you know, say goodbye to her from like the whole journey. But actually, this doctor who I have got the appointment with is the one who did my initial consultation. So I've only had 2 doctors in the time I've been there, but yeah, the other one, doctor, has been the one who did like all the scans and the actual IUI, whereas this one is a different one. So it is what it is. But yeah, I was slightly disappointed about that because it would have been nice to have the same one. But you know, it's not the end of the world. Just gotta hope that little Bean is growing as they should and everything will look good. As the day's gone on, I have to say I felt better about these pregnancy test results. So here's my pregnancy test. I'll do a proper, as I say, line progression at some point. These were the ones that's freaking me out. So this one here, it's not really any dark. It's not darker at all than this one. And I was worried it might even be paler. But this one down here is definitely darker than this one. And my first response test, particularly like now it's dried as well, I can definitely see that this line is slightly darker. And the main thing is just that this line here, the test line is stronger than the control line, which is what I was really aiming for. So now I don't feel quite so like, oh my gosh, what's going on, as I was earlier. But yeah, I think I am going to continue to test until at least 16 days past IUI, but then I think I might stop because it might just freak me out more than is really worth it if I go any further than that. So as I am now done pregnancy testing, I figured I would show you the line progression, which I mentioned I would do earlier in the video, just so you can see how the test lines got darker and why I chose to keep testing after I got the first positive pregnancy test. So I'll just turn the camera around and show you what I've got here. So you'll have to excuse the dishwasher going in the background, but these are all the pregnancy tests that I've taken, bar one of these, which I threw away because, as you can see, this pregnancy test was, oh, no, it's not going to focus. This pregnancy test is a bit rubbish, so I'll take this one out of picture for now. But, so I took 1 digital clear blue, 4 first response tests, and then I took a number of easy at homes and 1 phone. So I will start over here first of all. Actually no, do you know what? I'm going to start with the strip test because I started with these first. So I began testing on 8 days past IUI, and as you can see it's negative here, but I could have sworn I saw a really faint line on these tests when I took them, and I spent the whole day being like, is it there, isn't it there? But I was like, it's just too early to tell. 9 days past IUI, that's when I got my first positive, and that was actually most obvious with this test, this first response, which as you can see, they are all now dry, so they look different, but you can definitely see the line on there. So that was where I knew I was definitely pregnant, and I also took this digital on that day, and it came back, to my surprise, came back saying pregnant, which was really amazing. Then on 10 days past IUI, again I took the strip test. I think you can see on these ones, there is a faint line. Of these two, I definitely preferred the 1 photo over the easy at home, but definitely recommend these. So 10 DP, yeah, you can definitely see a line on there. And this is the one I took on 10 days past IUI/ovulation. I think I ovulated the same day I had my IUI done. You can see the line here. I am sure that the day I took this was darker than this, but they dried a bit, they dried quite similar, but I'm pretty sure this was darker. Then with the first responses, I didn't test on day 11 because I only had 2 left, and these are quite expensive, so I didn't want to waste them. So this one was taken on 12 days past IUI, and this one was taken on 14 days past IUI, and as you can see, that's what we kind of call a dye stealer. It actually looks better now it's dried, it looks darker, because I was a little bit disappointed on the day that it didn't look as dark as I hoped, but actually, in hindsight, looking at them now, it's definitely much darker, so that was really good. So just going on the strip test, you can see I tested every day, and you can see this line get darker and darker, and that's what you really want to be seeing with pregnancy tests like this, because what can happen, particularly with fertility treatments, you can get like a faint line like this one, say, that doesn't get darker and then it kind of fades away again, and that's what we would call a chemical pregnancy, and that's what I was really obviously hoping to avoid, and so that's why I have kept testing up until today, where I've got 2 really nice dark pregnancy tests here, and obviously this one I got yesterday on 14 days past IUI anyway, which is nice and dark too. So that's just really helped to give me personally some reassurance, and that's why I kept testing. But that is my line progression for baby number 2, the first cycle, which I was lucky enough to get pregnant with. Like I said, it doesn't rule out anything being wrong. It's still possible I could go for my scan and it's an empty sac, or it's just not a viable pregnancy for whatever reason. But this is at least a really good, strong indication that we've got past the first hurdle. So 1 step at a time. I am 6 weeks, 1 day today. I'm going to go off of the day that based off my last period, because it makes me feel like I'm slightly further ahead. But yeah, I'm 6 weeks, 1 day today, and the nausea has really kicked in. I ended up messaging the doctor this morning at my GP surgery. It's 2nd of January today, so it's open again from New Year's Day yesterday, and spoke to the doctor earlier this morning and said I really need more medication. And luckily this time he was like, yeah, that's fine. It definitely feels like I can be a lot more confident a second time around with the pregnancy, because I can be like, I had this before, I need to take this medicine that time, it worked for me then, please give me some more. And he was like, yeah, that's fine. So thank God for that. I didn't have to have a fight this time with the doctor to be like, I really need medication because I feel really grim. So he prescribed me more metoclopramide, which is what I was on last time. So I was at my parents' house this morning. They kindly dropped Oren off at nursery for me, because I definitely feel worse in the mornings at the moment, and we were still there from the Christmas New Year period that we stayed with them. So then I worked on my laptop from their house in the morning, and then this lunchtime I just drove over to my flat and went past the pharmacy, picked up my prescription and some milk for tonight, and then I've come back here and collapsed before I have to start work again in about 5 minutes. Oh my god, I forgot how rough this was. I mean, I knew intellectually that it was really bad last time, but you forget like how sick you really do feel. So I was really hoping I might be able to avoid this with a second pregnancy. I thought I might be one of those lucky ones that had a completely different experience, but so far it's been remarkably similar. I did also have one kind of brief depressive / anxious episode on New Year's Eve. I don't know if that was just because it was New Year's Eve and maybe like the fact that there was a new year and everything leading up to that was what was making me anxious, but I definitely had an episode where I was like, oh, I remember what this was like. But critically this time I could separate it from like I was able to work out, oh yeah, this is pregnancy related, whereas last time around I just didn't know what was going on. I haven't had another episode like that since then, so I'm, you know, fingers crossed on that front. But I have been very strict for myself that if I do have that again, I'm going on medication this time. Last time I put it off because I thought, no, just something's weird's going on. No. If it comes back and it's persistent, I'm taking medication for it. But right now, that is not the worst thing. Right now, it's this nausea, and more critically, it's the food aversion. That's the worst, but I forgot about this because the metoclopramide, it definitely does help with the nausea side of it, but you still have all your food aversions, and I am just off everything at the moment. Like, absolutely nothing appeals to me. Savoury, sweet, like I'm just nibbling on a biscuit. I'm currently just nibbling on like this pick-up bar. It's the only thing I can face. Drinking is still fine, like I can still manage. Flavoured water is quite good for me. Lucozade, like things I think are going to keep my levels up. But food is so difficult because just absolutely nothing appeals at all. And I forgot how hard that was. I can only tell I'm hungry because my stomach starts hurting because I haven't eaten in so long. And so I'm just literally having like little tiny bites every now and then just to stop that pain. But I'm actually really glad now that before I went into doing my first round of IUI, I was aware that I was a little bit bigger than I was the first time around. And I was thinking, should I maybe do some more exercise first? Should I lose some weight? But then I was like, no, I'm a healthy weight. It's fine. Whatever. Like, that's fine. And I'm actually really glad that I was a bit bigger now because I think I'm probably going to end up losing quite a bit of weight again this first trimester like I did my last time around. So at least there's some fat on me to go if I can't eat more. But yeah, I forgot how awful the food aversions were. You really can't, you can't eat anything. Nothing appeals to you at all. And it's a really odd, it's kind of hard to describe someone who haven't been through it, but yeah, you can't eat anything. And it's sad that the drugs don't get rid of that. But at the very least, I might be able to feel a bit more human in a minute when they start kicking in again. So hopefully I can get through the next couple of days of work. I really want to get to my first scan before I tell my boss, and it's the 2nd of January today, so I've only got tomorrow, Friday, and then Monday to do some work on, and then on Tuesday I have my scan, and I booked the day off anyway, so I think I do that, even if I have to take them off sick for other reasons. Hopefully I can get to that scan before I have to tell him, but given how ill I am feeling, I am going to have to tell him sooner than I was maybe hoping to. I thought I might be able to get to my 12-week scan, but I doubt that's going to happen. It is the 7th of January today. I'm keeping my voice down because, as you can probably tell, I'm at my parents' house. And I had my first ultrasound. Everything is looking good. This little blob here is the baby. It's what it looks like at about 6 weeks. And it's measuring at 6 weeks, 4 days, I think, which is only 1 day behind where it should be, but she said that's absolutely fine because it's so tiny, the measurements at this point, doesn't matter. Heartbeat was good, it's 120 beats per minute. So yeah, baby's looking good. I feel so ill at the moment, hence the reason we're back here. I did actually, it's Tuesday today, I did actually go home last Thursday. I wasn't feeling super great, but I was like, let's just go home and see. Spent one night there and I was like, I can't do this, I feel so ill. I did get some drugs prescribed from the doctor. So last time I took metoclopramide, which really helped with my morning sickness. This time, however, it didn't do anything. I even took a slightly stronger dose and it did nothing. So I ended up calling the doctor again yesterday and they prescribed me something called cyclizine, which I think is a fairly common antiemetic. This is working, it is stopping the sickness, but I feel like I've been hit with a tranquilizer when I take it. Like, I'm so heady and spacey, like I can feel my heartbeat pulsing, really tired, really drowsy. So it helps with the nausea, but I'm really tired and really out of it in like trade. And to be honest, I'll take that trade because the nausea is so bad. It doesn't fully get rid of the nausea, but it gets it to a much more bearable level than when I haven't taken it. So yeah, anyway, not fun, but that's where we're at right now. But oh my god, like, thank goodness for my parents, because I would not be survived. Well, we would just about get by, but like, it's so difficult when you feel this ill. Obviously Oren's still at nursery, so that is helping. But yeah, it's just tough to feel this sick all the time. When I went for my scan today, the doctor looked at me and she was like, I think we should take your blood pressure because you're so pale, you look so ill. And I was like, I feel horrific. And I really did feel grim. So I remember being on the ultrasound table, lying down, thinking the only thing I could think about was like being like, please don't throw up on the technician. I was kind of worried about the scan, but once I could see baby was there and was fine, and also because I felt so ill, I was like, I feel like everything must be going hopefully okay to feel this grim. When I could see the baby on the scan and everything looked fine, then I was like, okay, I don't need to worry anymore. And I just kind of focused on not being sick. But oh god, and it was, you know, so miserable, and I just wish I could have had a positive experience of that scan, but I didn't have like a depressive reaction afterwards to like, oh my god, why wasn't I feeling happy about this? Because I felt so ill. Like, it's impossible to feel happy when you feel that ill. So yeah, mentally I've been fine since last week. It's just physically feel utterly grim, and really hope this doesn't last A, longer than last time, and B, peters out very soon. But that being said, we've made it past the first hurdle, so hopefully onwards and upwards. Hello from future editing Bryony, who has not got around to editing this video until October 2025, and who's also had a filling done today, so this half of my face is completely numb. But I just wanted to jump on here to say that this pregnancy was successful, and I gave birth to my daughter, Fenna, on the 20th of August 2025. So she's currently 8 weeks old, she's just lying here next to me. And I did have some more footage in this series, but I only filmed my first trimester, and basically the rest of this video would have just been, I could have done a 4th episode, but it would have just been me talking about how ill I felt every single week, because I just felt ill the whole first trimester. I didn't film my 2nd or 3rd trimester. I did the odd update. I actually did quite a few updates on Instagram, so if you don't follow me on Instagram, you want to see like the tail end of my pregnancy updates, then you can go and follow me over there and you can go back and see them. But yeah, it was another tough pregnancy. Didn't have any mental health problems this pregnancy though, thank the Lord, that was one thing. But it was a physically tough pregnancy, and the birth was great, but the postpartum period wasn't so much. So I will definitely have to do a birth and postpartum healing story at some point in the future. But I did just want to jump on and say that yes, this was the pregnancy that was successful and continued on and gave me my beautiful daughter. So I now have one of each. I'm very happy, and thank you so much for bearing with me for this very long video, and I hope you enjoyed it.